All right. Actually did a video yesterday. Um. Uh. Like concerning this, but I mean, I deleted it by accident. I mean, it went longer than I anticipated. I went because I like I said before. I believe I mentioned this unless I deleted the video, but I know I mentioned it though. That this phone for whatever reason I think might probably like memory or something. I can only do like 15 minutes in 1 second on this phone, so I kind of have to. If I go over that, I have to kind of like chop it up in a little increments or whatever. But I don't know. I'm just gonna do this really quick. Hang on. Um, I don't know. I don't think I uploaded. I just checked my YouTube and I don't think the I think I might have deleted it. But anyways, this is Tony Evans and just download his application. I have in just like all my other videos, if not most of them. Um, you know, don't take my word for it. I mean, I'm not God. I mean, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to your preacher or whoever. Seek God. And if it's not, if it goes against God's word, then it's not from God. Seek God. And a lot of people say that the Bible contradicts itself or whatever. I mean, it seems that way, but I mean, if you really break it down, like the verses that seem to contradict, you'll see that they really don't contradict. But yeah, I mean, it does come off that way at times, but the Bible is the word of God. I mean, I've been led in the Bible many of times. I mean, I know what it's like to have, verses just jump out at me and stuff. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I mean, that's not the only way God will talk to somebody. But, everything is God caused, God allowed. And if you're seeking God, then the answers ain't coming from anywhere else. I mean, if you're seeking God with a pure heart and pure motives, and you're being honest, and I mean, you're not, it's, so you don't have to ever worry about that, because everything is God caused, God allowed. And as long as you're doing it with pure motives, and you're just you're doing it for God's glory, and you're doing it for the will of God and not just for your own selfish motives, then God will answer you. Okay, well, I mean, like I said, Tony Evans is a he's a good pastor, preacher, whatever. You know, download his application, and seek God for yourself. Don't listen to anybody, not even me. I mean, um, um, but yeah, just, I mean, what he does is kind of like the analogy I used before. I don't even know if I think I did delete that video, but I said no, it wasn't. It was in one video. I just went off on some weird stuff talking about you know people, starving people in the world or whatever. But I felt I had to touch on that because a lot of people like to blame God for the world's problems. Well, I mean, you just gotta, I mean, I could see where somebody might kind of jump the gun and just do something like that, but I mean, you have to just be like, kind of calm down and just think about stuff logically, But anyways, Tony Evans, like the analogy I used before, kind of like preachers and pastors or whatever, like when you're speaking to people in any format, whether it just be a motivational speaker or something more than that, you're a teacher nonetheless, and some people are going to groove with your teaching and some people aren't. Kind of like when you're in school, you got X amount of kids to each class. Half the kids are gonna really gravitate towards the teacher's learning style, and some of the kids are just gonna be like, what is this person talking about? It doesn't mean that they're a bad teacher, as long as they're teaching the truth, obviously. That's the most important thing. But just the style I'm talking about is um some people, just, but Tony Evans, works for me, and he breaks it down very basic, and I just like he uses great analogies, and it's not this, he doesn't tend to sugarcoat things. I mean, he's not like a real hit 'em home preacher. I mean, like he doesn't. I mean, like I said, I mean, I've been listening to this guy very, very sparingly over the past, 2 or more years or whatever. I don't know too much about him. I mean, I've listened to more Tony Evans over the past, couple weeks or whatever than I probably ever have. I mean, kind of, sort of. I mean, But I mean, I'm still kind of getting a feel for him, but I know how he breaks it down. But he's not a sugarcoat type of preacher. You know what? I like the hit 'em home preachers, by the way. I like the preachers that are gonna sit there and tell you how it is. They're not gonna just sit around and God, you got that promotion coming up and blah blah blah. Like, come on, man. Like even the Bible speaks against that stuff. Like, in the last days, people will have itching ears, which means they like that sweetness. They want that. They just want to sit around and you know uh, have these preachers lick their wounds and tell them it's going to be okay. I mean, I understand. I'm not picking on people. I'm really not. But uh, you know, it's not going to change reality. Reality is that's not. God is love. He is love, but He's also wrath. And even His wrath is done out of love. Because God doesn't put up with sin. So I mean, it is what it is. And sin is a direct offense against God. I mean, we're all sinners. Nobody's saying we have to be perfect, but He will help you overcome that if you're willing. I mean, you don't have to walk around in sin. I mean, even if you feel like you can't really, like you're just too neck deep in your sin, you can't turn to God. There's no way you can turn away from your sin, but you really really want to keep knocking on His door. Keep knocking on His door. If I mean, if you look for God, you'll find Him. Those are His words. There's a verse in the Bible that speaks to that as well. You know, Probably have to go through some things. Like I said in my other video, I don't know what video I uploaded. I know I just did a couple of them yesterday, and I ended up deleting them for some reason. I mean, they just went too long, and I didn't feel like sitting there uploading all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, check out Tony Evans. I mean, his I got some time today, so I don't know if I'll be doing some applications or videos. I'm like at two places at once. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of videos today. I don't know. I'm sure I'll do another one, but who knows? I don't even know. I just do them when I want to do them or when I feel like I have to do them. But I don't know. I guess I'll just start with this. I mean, all right. Well, it's called The Purpose of the Cross, Part 1. Which, I mean, if you download his application, it's March 9th. He did it on March 9th. And I actually have Part 2. I don't know if I'll get to that today. I mean, I don't know. Because when I do these things, I mean, I take a lot of notes, man. And I like to kind of explain. If I feel like I have to explain something, I will. But I try not to explain because when I explain, it just takes too long, man. But this is based on 1 Peter 2:21-25. Again, seek God for yourself. Don't listen to me, Tony Evans, or no one. He's not God. I'm not God. No one's God. There's one God. Seek Him. No one else. Seek Him through His Word and through prayer. If you seek Him, you will find Him. Okay, Jesus died so that you might die. Jesus arose so that you might live to this resurrected righteous standard. And another thing is, like when I take these notes, I mean, I kind of like start it and pause it and start it and pause it. So when I pause it, I take like 3-4 words at a time, and it takes me forever to do this stuff. So I'm kind of like flying through it, and like it's crazy. Like sometimes I forget to cross a T, dot an I. Sometimes I'm leaving words out and letters out, and I look at it and I'm just like, what is this? That's kind of I kind of hit a brick wall yesterday, and that's kind of why I just stopped doing the video, and I just says, man, kill this noise. I'm going to bed. It was late, and I reached a point where I looked at a word, and it was like a foreign language, man. Really, it was that bad. I don't even really know what that. It was just a mess, and I just then I kind of like my eyes kind of drifted across the page, and I looked at something else. I'm like, what is that? And that's when I just stopped the video because I had to go to bed at that point. But if I'm reading kind of like weird or slow, I can read. Trust me, it's just my writing is just crazy when it comes to this stuff because I write a million miles an hour. But Jesus arose so that you might live to this resurrected righteous standard. His resurrection made it possible. Wait, those are my words. Let's keep it moving here. All right. Even though Jesus and the cross was 2,000 years ago, it became effectual, which means effective, um, to you the moment you believed in it. And a lot of people, when they describe the cross, they kind of it's kind they kind of come like they kind of, you know, act like or come across as like it's idol worship. Like when they say believe in it, like believe in the cross, you don't believe in the cross, you believe in Jesus and what he did at the cross. But I don't know, these are just his words, so I mean, I'm just kind of going by what, you know, I wrote down what he said. But believe in it, that does not sound right. You don't believe in an object. I mean, that's paganism. You believe in God. You don't believe in a cross, but you believe in what Jesus did at the cross. Like you can't separate Jesus from the cross and the cross from Jesus. Jesus came down here to get nailed to the cross. So, you know, in essence, I'm not saying Jesus is the cross, but you know, they're just, you know, you can't have one without the other. It's not going to work. So, but he should have, what he should have said was Jesus Christ and him crucified. That's the more proper way to say it. When he worded it like this, it comes across like he's trying to idolize an object, which that's not what he's trying to do. But whatever. I just wanted to clear that up. The cross is the centerpiece of our faith because it represents sacrificial atoning, which means you know, being reconciled, because when he died, that's God. Jesus is nothing more than God in the flesh. You know, like God took a piece of himself and put it down. Read Matthew, the second chapter of Matthew. I mean, it explains it right there pretty much. And then you could read Romans too, like the whole the book of Romans, from the first chapter to the last chapter, that talks all about Jesus and all this stuff I'm talking about here. Yeah, so I mean that just talks about, you know, being reconciled. I mean, God just came down here and just, you know, made a way for his creation to, cause in the garden, you know, Adam and Eve like bit into an apple and stuff, and you know, just read Genesis. I mean, it's all right there. I mean, it sounds like a fairy tale. It does. I mean, I get it, like some magical apple. Like, come on, dude. Like, but no, I mean, if you read it and you really like, you know, you're really searching for the truth. I mean, you can see like, you know, I mean, look at the back of your iPhones, man. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and act all conspiratorial, but I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I'm going to come across as a nut job for a couple seconds, but just bear with me, man. Look at the back of your iPhone. You think that's just irony? You think that there's not people in this world that don't know? These celebrities are just trying to brainwash you into thinking that you came from monkeys, man. I'm just going to be real. I'm just going to be honest about it, okay? There are people in this country, in this world, that use these celebrities and use these famous people that you young people look up to, okay? And they have these people come out and do demonic stuff on stage and you know, do all this weird stuff like that. I mean, look at the back of your phone, man. Look at the back of your phone. See that if you have an iPhone or an iPod or an i something. Okay, I'm gonna get to the I part later. The I part. I mean, I know I sound like a real kook, but trust me, man. If you really think about this, it just fits. It fits together like a piece of the puzzle. Like, just see what's going on, man. Don't be blind. Stop picking up your iPhone and thinking that you got privacy, because you don't. All right. Look, just flip your phone over and look at that apple. Huh? You think that these people don't know something? Really? Okay, Siri. You know that iPhone 5, iPhone 6, that little weird thing that people like to talk to. What does that spell backwards? You spell iris. What is an iris? It's part of an eye, right? iPhone, Apple. Think about it, people. The more you think about it, the more the Bible just comes alive. We are living in the last days. Stop playing. It's not about money. It's not about chasing money. That's all distraction. That's all distraction. You know, Hollywood wants to make you think that, you know, you're less of a person because, you know, you got, you know, like, you know, for younger people. You know, personally, I don't care about TMZ. It's just, I mean, if you're a dude and you're sitting around watching TMZ, a bunch of gossip shows, man, look, I'm not judging you, but I'm saying you might want to check your sexuality, man. That's crazy. You know, I mean, TMZ and these magazines and stuff, really, who cares, man? I don't care about any of these people. I mean, I don't mean to sound cold-hearted. I mean, if I saw somebody in need, I'd help them out. It's not that I don't care about them, but I don't care about your life, man. I got my own life going on, you know? I don't care about your business.
I really don't, man.